And when you do that, this is what you see. And just take a look here at these stones, and there's an arrangement of stones that's going from the left side of the photograph up towards the top center of the photograph. There's an arrangement of stones that's going into the background. And something that's interesting about these stones is that one of the stones that's in the foreground of this group is called the Serpent stone. And if you're familiar with the mythology or the cosmology of this area, the serpent is one of the what we might call power animals or totem animals for the different worlds. The serpent is the god or the ruler of the lower world. Now, also in this area, a few feet from the Serpent stone, there is what the tour guides will tell you is an example of Inca stonework, where here's a stone that it was in the process of being quarried, and these are the marks left behind to show us how they split the stone. I don't think that's the case. And in fact, if you look at this stone and you look at the other stones around it, it's very clear that this stone has an assemblage with other stones, and I think these markings here are really some kind of an encoded message. So, if you look at what I've drawn here, this is standing from the keystone. This is looking out, and if you look at the stones that are adjacent to one another and you draw a line around them, what you see is a bird shape. And the tail of the bird is that stone which had those quarry marks, so-called, in it. And besides the serpent, another of the power animals of the Inca was the condor. And this is, to me, a bird shape. And it's along the line of these stones from the keystone. So if you look again from the keystone, and in this photograph, you'll see the lower left circled figure is the serpent stone. The next set of figures is the bird stone or the condor. And now in Inca cosmology, that would leave us at least one more animal, which would be puma. So if you follow along these two upper outlines, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on those. This is what you have there, and I believe that this figure on the left is a puma. And that could leave another figure. Look at this figure in the center right. It looks like it has bushy eyebrows in it. Well, if you walk around the backside of this stone and look at this stone that has these plants hanging off it in profile, what do you think you see? This is what you see right here. You see a head in profile. And this looks very much like an Inca headdress, as you see in the little illustration down to the lower right-hand corner. Profile, eyebrows, the entire thing. And in the Inca cosmology, the human or the human-like figure, besides the power animals of the serpent, puma, and the condor, would be Viracocha or Viracocha, the creator. And this is one of the stones that's there in the Garden of the Gods, as I call it. It's not a rock quarry. It's a set of messages that's been left behind about how the world and how Machu Picchu was created. So those are interesting enough observations, but I also brought along a filter so I could take infrared pictures. So I started taking infrared pictures of Machu Picchu and of the mountains surrounding it, and I did find some interesting things. Take a look at this picture here, and you notice on the bottom, this is some of the land contouring that's on the Machu Picchu complex. But go up into this mountain and look into the center of the photograph. You see this round area, and then look at the ridge that's above this that goes to the right, and then there's a drop-off sharply to the right. Does this remind you of anything? Think of the Inca power animals, the serpent, the puma, and the condor. Well, to me, this looks like the profile of a puma. And this is Machu Picchu Mountain itself. This is the mountain that's south of the complex. This is the mountain behind where the visitor center is, behind the hotel. And the detail around the eye is really pretty spectacular. Now, if you look around in infrared, you're going to see some other things, some other faces that are also very interesting. This face on the left, to me, is very pronounced with large eyebrows, raised eyebrows, eyes that appear to be closed. If you go down below that, there's a ridge, there are nostrils, and it appears that there's a mouth that's open. Also, if you look in infrared, the picture on the right, it's a little bit harder to see, but there are eye sockets on either side of this V ridge, and there appears to be nostrils and a mouth below this V ridge. Whatever that being is, it certainly doesn't look like anything from planet Earth. Now, as you're leaving Machu Picchu, sorry this photograph was blurred, but I just noticed it coming down. This is on the side of Putukusi, the mountain that is facing you towards the east, towards the town of Aguas Calientes as you're on Machu Picchu Mountain. And this was actually taken from one of the buses on its way back down. And I looked at this and I knew that that was the face of a woman. You can see the nose in the center. You can see some recessed eye ridges, eye crests. And there are in fact people on the bus who see this all the time who say, that looks like a woman. This, I believe, is a very large carving. This was not taken in infrared, but this is a very large carving. And in fact, all around Machu Picchu area, all through the Sacred Valley, there are huge faces that are carved in the mountainside. They're there for you to find if you just start looking. So, are there more stories in stone? There certainly are. This is a photograph from Sacsayhuaman. There are many messages, many figures that are carved in these stones. You just have to take the time to look. Friends, that's all we're going to talk about right now. Thank you for listening to and watching my presentation on the faces of Machu Picchu.